Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this, the latest in our series of leadership breakfasts. I'm Tim Clark, editor of Government Executive Magazine, and we've been putting on this breakfast series now for going on 2 years on topical subjects of the day. And today, of course, we're dealing with a topic of great interest, namely the reforms that have taken place in the intelligence community. And we're lucky to have my friend and colleague Shane Harris moderating the panel today, and I'll introduce him in just a second. This breakfast series would not be possible without the support of companies in the market serving federal agencies with important functions that they need to operate. And today we have two terrific companies sponsoring. One is a BEA. BEA is a world leader in enterprise infrastructure software, delivering unified service-oriented architecture platforms for federal transformation and optimization. Customers depend on its Aqualogic business process management suite to support the complex collaborative business processes of today's enterprises. Information on BEA can be found at BEA.com. It operates in all the major intelligence agencies, in the Homeland Security Department, in the Defense Department, and also helps the state and local agencies with which federal agencies work with Homeland Security functions. Also, we're delighted to have here with us PRTM, which is a 30-year-old company whose management consultants work with senior executives to develop and implement operational strategies to deliver breakthrough results. The firm is a leader in operational strategy, supply chain, product development, and customer management. Its technology-independent work is strictly confidential, and the firm has the security clearances needed to work on mission-critical assignments in technology-rich environments. PRTM also is active in the intelligence community and in the Homeland Security Department in the federal government. So please join me in giving these two terrific sponsors of this event a round of applause. Now, it's my great pleasure to say a few words about Shane Harris, who's moderating today's event. Shane came to Government Executive Magazine about 7 years ago, perhaps? 7 years ago. He had actually worked for a magazine called Governing Magazine that covers the state and local government scene, much as we cover the federal government scene. But then he'd gone to Hollywood, drawn there by I don't know what, and we rescued him from Hollywood and brought him to Government Executive, where he did a terrific job as technology editor, and then developed an interest in the intelligence community and began to write very good pieces about the intelligence community. He did a terrific profile, for example, on John Poindexter. And then we did a breakfast with John Poindexter here a couple of years ago, and Shane moderated that. Shane moved to our sister publication, National Journal, about 2 years ago, and he's covering intelligence there. Recent pieces have covered the Defense Department's Total Information Awareness Program to track terrorists, and his coverage there included an exclusive piece, broke news that revealed that the program is alive and well under a different name. Several articles on the National Security Agency's wireless, or rather warrantless surveillance program, and a comprehensive look earlier this year at the 9/11 Commission's recommendations on Homeland Security and intelligence reform, and the reasons why many of those recommendations have not, in fact, been implemented. Welcome to all the panel. A special welcome to another former colleague, Siobhan Gorman, who's now moved from National Journal to the Baltimore Sun. But I'm going to let Shane introduce the rest of the panel. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. Tim did, in fact, rescue me from the back alleys of Hollywood, so I'm indebted to him forever for that. Let's see. We're going to be talking this morning, obviously, about a topic that is been very much in the news of late over the past several years, intelligence reform. And we're sort of starting with the the question of broadly, is it a failure or a fix? And this, of course, is something that I don't know if we'll be able to answer it in its entirety. But hopefully our distinguished panelists here will help us get into really some of the nuts and bolts issue of what intelligence reform really is about, what's succeeding, what solutions there are for the future, what can change, what could be done better. So with that, just to set the stage here a bit, when we say intelligence reform, even though this is a term that is certainly pre-exists the September 11th attacks, we're really talking about the need post 9/11, I think we could say broadly, to reform the intelligence community, a collection of agencies, some of which have different missions and priorities, into more of a cohesive whole that is supposed to be able to, for lack of a better term, put together the dots, connect the dots. That's a very simplistic way of saying it, but it was really the 9/11 attacks, and then with that, commissions, particularly the Joint Intelligence Commission in Congress, the 9/11 Commission, and recommendations that these groups made for reforming intelligence that have sort of set the stage for where we are today. So obviously the most recent sort of big news events would be the flawed analysis, some might say spot-on analysis that never rose to the top, about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. This again revealed sort of, I think, for policymakers, I would say, and for practitioners in the intelligence community, perhaps some things that had been done and some things that remain to be done with reform. So we're going to dig into all of those really from a managerial perspective. And then with my media colleague here, hopefully as well, we will get in a bit to what role we play as journalists in this equation. Certainly, we are here informing the public about these issues and have been more so in the past 5 years maybe than any time in recent history. And with that comes some difficult issues for us and I think some interesting topic for debate. So let's start off by just introducing the panelists. I'm going to go down the row here. To my left is Matthew Aid. Mr. Aid is a native of New York, and he has served as a senior executive with several large international financial research and investigative companies for the past 20 years. And to the point of today's discussion directly, he was the co-editor of Secrets of Signals Intelligence During the Cold War and Beyond, and is currently completing a multi-volume history of the National Security Agency, the NSA, and its predecessor organizations covering the period 1945 to the present. So we're glad you could pull yourself away from that daunting task for this morning. He's also the author of a number of published articles on intelligence and security issues, which focus primarily on issues relating to the subject of signals intelligence. So thank you for being here. To his left, my colleague Siobhan Gorman, who covers intelligence and national security for the Baltimore Sun's Washington Bureau. She writes on a range of topics, including intelligence reform, the evolution of terrorist groups, and the activities of intelligence agencies. She's focused in particular on the NSA, including investigative pieces on the warrantless surveillance program and failed NSA modernization efforts. And I think that her coverage on that has been the definitive work in the field. I'm very glad to have you here as well. And I currently have her old job, so we've done a bit of musical chairs here, so that's kind of nice too. Exactly. You get to moderate, and then I'll go. Yeah. To her left, we have Dr. William Nolte. Bill is the research professor and director of the Center for Intelligence Research and Education at the School of Public Policy at the University of Maryland. He completed a 30-year career with the federal government in early 2006. He was the first chancellor of the National Intelligence University System. He previously served in a range of positions with the National Security Agency, the National Intelligence Council, and the Intelligence Community Management staff. And he is the former director of the Intelligence Fellows Program and continues to serve on the board of Studies in Intelligence, which is the intelligence community's professional journal. He is also a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. Thank you for being here. And finally, to Bill's left, Dr. Jennifer Sims. Dr. Sims is Director of Intelligence Studies and visiting professor in the Security Studies program at Georgetown University's Edmund Walsh School of Foreign Service. She also consults for the U.S. government and the private sector on homeland security and intelligence-related matters. Prior to this, she was a research professor at Johns Hopkins University's School of Advanced International Studies in Washington from 2001 to 2003, I believe. She has served as defense and foreign policy advisor to Senator John Danforth, as a professional staff member of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, was the Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Intelligence Coordination, and was the Department of State's first coordinator for intelligence resources and planning in the Office of the Undersecretary for Management. So obviously a very distinguished panel with a lot to say on hopefully most of these issues here.